Welcome to another episode, Digilize Lab by Digilize Agency. Actually, episode number 5. Time is going by real quick. We got lots to talk about again. This time we got an online episode. Next time we will be back at the usual location. But we hope you guys enjoy it and still like it. Give us feedback and let's jump right into it. And by the way, the weather is great.
Just wanted to say, even in both locations, I mean, the reason why we are recording online is because we're not all in Haarlem. So, but I see in both locations really nice weather.
Beautiful, actually.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's a rare occasion, but we'll take it as it is. But yeah, let's jump right in. I'll just take the word because I have quite an interesting topic. No, I mean, OpenAI.
A lot of things happened again, right? It's crazy how it moves so fast. Every week. We say it happened a lot, but it actually does. And I think we don't even cover 10%. So,
probably not even 10%.
Yeah. That was maybe way too long. But sorry, continue, Finn.
No, I just wanted to start with the OpenAI private funding round. So, the biggest one ever on this planet Earth. They raised, let me check the numbers, $122 billion, which is a crazy amount. Just raised it at a valuation of $852 billion. So quite crazy. What I think is quite interesting is even Amazon pitched in the biggest amount, actually, of $50 billion, which is interesting because they were one of the first investors in Anthropic.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of playing both sides. Huh? Yeah, definitely. But now they're kind of pitching both sides, and at the same time they still don't really do their own AI. They just buy in. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting to see. It's so interesting to see that AI momentum does not slow down. Everyone was so scared.
Wait. Can we first start with the freaking evaluation? That is by far the highest evaluation for a company that is not even at the stock market. They didn't even have their IPO. Imagine what is going on when they launch their IPO.
No, they're getting it.
And I mean, they're not far from profitable. They're burning money on an hourly basis.
Yeah, of course,
millions.
But still.
So yeah, it is quite interesting to see.
Definitely, yeah. No, it's also the first time ever that retail investors got access, even though it's a private funding round. So that's why I guess I think they just want to push their IPO a bit before they actually go public. But because they also need the money, they're burning through cash, as Tim said already, heavily, and they're making big losses right now. But they're getting funded, so for now they're good.
They're getting the money to burn it, so why not?
Fair enough. But I just thought that was quite interesting, and they're actually planning to go public around Q4 2026. So
Q4.
Let's see.
Let's see who is first, Anthropic or OpenAI.
Did you hear anything about Anthropic? I didn't hear anything if they want to go public.
They definitely need to, or they want to, because there's just a different level of money, I would say. But yeah, both said they want to IPO 2026, and I mean 2026. If actually all of the companies that said that they are IPOing, then it's gonna be a crazy year. SpaceX or is also one of them.
SpaceX is a whole other episode.
We also got SpaceX. I think end of this month actually. They had the IPO. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Crazy.
I don't have the exact numbers in mind, but I'm pretty sure they said end of April.
Quickly check.
They already published the date. Check for us. So looking forward to that as well. But let's see.
But it's also really interesting, like you said earlier, Finn, that it was Microsoft, right, who was invested in both?
Amazon.
Right, like Amazon, thank you. Amazon is invested in both in OpenAI and in Anthropic.
That I find interesting, yeah. They don't
but
really
super
put
smart or
anything
not?
on. Oh, for sure, for sure.
They put the basket not only in one. No, they don't put the eggs in more than one basket. Yeah. That is the same.
But I think it's interesting in how much money they actually raised, because what was it, 122 billion at a valuation of 850 something. So if you look at, I just got the numbers for SpaceX, they're targeting a valuation of 1.75 trillion, which is completely out of this world. But even with that valuation, they aiming to raise about 75 billion. So less than OpenAI just raised with 800, which is not even half of the valuation.
Interesting.
So we'll see how it is. But yeah, I mean, obviously they're trying to merge with XAI and everything. So that's a different story. But as Tim was actually nearly right, they're planning to go for early June. So June 11th
early
is
June. Okay, my bad.
An event. Yeah.
I mean, close. Good to know.
Close.
Good to know.
Gotta put that in the calendar.
No, just, to be honest, I can expand a bit on the topic. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say now that we missed the next IPO, like with Figma.
Yeah, but I'm quite glad that I did not tap any of
but the first
Figma.
run, if you would have got some shares at the first bull run, then why not?
Sure.
If you would have left it.
The exit would have needed to be nice, but probably not. So better not.
But
that brings me to
IPOs.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Tim.
Actually. That brings me to my second topic, because we're already talking about the big numbers. I remember that conversation. Do you remember around 1 year ago, we talked about that there will, or actually Sam Altman did. He said, there will be a company run by one person, which is worth 1 billion. And we're actually there. Actually, a week ago, the first person got published, yes. His name is Medivi or something like that. No, Matthew Callahan. And yeah, he spent roughly $20,000 on API cost, vibe coded something together, and is since running his business with, I'm not sure how many employees, I think like 3, if I'm not wrong, 3 employees, and they already reached their revenue last year of $401 million US dollars. Wow. And are set to breach the holy number of 1.8 billion in sales in 2026.
Damn,
crazy!
What are they doing?
What
is the
same question?
What's the secret sauce?
They have a couple AI tools which they released, and it's also like a mixture out of code, content, ads, support, and internal analysis systems.
So basically a whole AI suite.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. Do you know what the company is called?
Okay. So it's actually just his brother Elliot.
Crazy.
That's the only employee.
Brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they spent about $20,000 US dollars.
I mean that
API
perfectly shows that it's definitely possible to run a 2-man show nowadays, making a shitload of money.
Yeah, so it's definitely the cheap AI tools, fast build, tiny headcount, and that translates into huge revenue.
New age.
Yeah, but isn't it funny also on the other hand? It's almost like he would have paid someone to build him the software for the 20K. You know what I mean? The only reason why he probably could have achieved that is because he could iterate on its own. Or he could iterate on the software and probably talk with users, I guess. I don't know, haven't looked into it. And through that, it made it way better than just paying 20K to someone else. And that shows again the hyper personalization. So for real, that AI helps with just iteration and making people faster and not replacing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I also put down in my notes. Is kind of like the old model was to hire people first, then of course scale the software, and so on. And now it's kind of like you skip the people, you just build and scale.
Yeah, validate, and let's go.
Sure, yeah.
A fun concept.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really good.
Let me just
Do you guys
go back to the OpenAI topic for 1 second, because they actually dropped some other interesting stuff. Different, like not IPO, but basically they published like a industrial kind of policy paper for the intelligence age.
No, yeah, I did see that.
It's interesting because the three kind of main points from it are, firstly, they want to tax robots, which means they want to tax companies that replace people with robots in the same way as if they would hire people. So in that sense, they want to kind of solve the problem with how do people get paid if their jobs get laid off. So they basically want to tax them and then build a public wealth fund, which is kind of hosted by the biggest AI companies, also kind of sus. And they would then redistribute to every citizen. So kind of interesting, and they're pushing to get not even companies, governments to push for the 4-day week at full pay to kind of test it. So
I think we're not that far anymore of where we will stop taxing work in the way we currently do. I think we're gonna see a shift from taxing humans to actually only taxing AI.
Valid.
I'm pretty sure we're not that far anymore. I don't think we're gonna tax labor, like physical and human labor, that long anymore. And I think this is gonna be there much faster than we think. But
it will be interesting times for sure. I don't know how long it's gonna take, of course, but the speeds that things are going right now, at least in America, it's gonna become a test case for sure.
But I also think is tax for real the next step? You know what I mean? Why use the old system?
No, fair enough. I guess
it's crazy, but I mean, with that big of a shift, then why use tax overall and just redistribute wealth on its own? Because if we actually kind of get the abundance of compute and electricity and all of that stuff that we actually need for AI, then AI can just do everything, and humans don't actually need to work anymore, and no one needs to work anymore because people don't need to pay for the bus because the bus gets operated by an AI, and the AI gets operated by basically electricity, and we have electricity and compute en masse. So no one has to do anything anymore, then you don't need taxes anymore.
I guess taxes are just a word that people understand, because
true.
You need to have some. I don't think the world is going to end up with no currency overall. I think there needs to be some form of exchange of things. But it is an interesting topic. Not every job is gonna fall apart. Definitely not. It's just those repetitive kind of jobs, those factory kind of jobs. Those are actually kind of impacted by robots in a way, for sure. They already have been, to be honest. If you look at those big industrial robots, if you look at BMW factories or something, it's nearly all of them, like Tesla for sure, nearly all of the workers are robots. But then there's still people operating those robots, blah, blah, blah. At some point that's going to change and be, I don't know, fully AI, but I can't tell you what it's going to be.
I think they're still doing that in a test factory, basically. They partnered up, exactly, we had a presentation about that,
true.
Right? Yeah. They partnered up with Figure AI, also a really nice humanoid robotics startup from America. And they are also building basically the next humanoid robot. Really nice. And they partnered up with BMW to operate one station of their car plant 24/7, because they basically had, I think, 6 robots in total, and always a shift of 3 robots. That means as soon as the battery went low, they basically changed the robots, and then they plugged themselves in so they could charge again. And then after, I think, 6-hour shifts or something, they basically swapped out, and the error margin was 98% less, and I think some other really impressive notes, but it's
those
just
numbers
too expensive for right now. But it is fun because it is basically robots using other robots then again, or not again, but that is then the next step.
Was it Figure that have those, the robot that kind of just has this battery, and he just takes another battery off the wall and just changes it like himself? I saw that as well, that they don't even switch around, but they literally go to a wall with like batteries and just swap the battery, and then they just plug their own to charge again, and they don't even have to switch. I don't know if it was Figure, but maybe it was a different one.
I saw this. I'm just thinking which one it was.
Not sure. I have to check on it.
Whatever. But Savvy, what's your top 5 humanoid robot companies?
Wow.
If you had to list them, shoot them all off the hip.
Top 5 is crazy. Top 3 I can do. I think it is actually Figure and Sunday Robotics. I think those two are on place 1 or 2. I don't know, but they're both nice. Basically doing the same, but Sunday Robotics makes it. Their robot looks like a Lego figure, and that
what is that Chinese company called again? They're also having
Unitree.
I think those are also quite
They
interesting.
also really won the G1. Yeah, and especially they're really good. But there's also now an open source humanoid robot by someone, I forgot his name, but it's super nice. Yeah, he basically sells the kits for 50K. And you get everything to do. Super nice, and you can follow his whole progression. Everything is open source. You can basically just buy the kit and build it yourself and do the development on it. And it's actually, if you think about it, it's 50K. It is relatively cheap because we're still right at the beginning. And imagine that! I would love to buy that.
Crazy. Will be interesting.
But I would say Figure, Unitree, and Sunday Robotics, or if you want to say Boston Dynamics is a company, then that, but they're more research lab.
I was about to say it as well. I think
there are
Boston Dynamics.
A ton out of there that I forgot, but Boston Dynamics is just too good and brings. Especially the actuators and stuff like that. I went down a rabbit hole once about actuators, and it's crazy. It has opened a whole new world. But
yeah, I think also the movement of the Boston Dynamic ones. I'm not sure what the name of the specific robot is. I have to look it up. But
the dog
I think
one
the movement. The humanoid robot. Yeah, the humanoid robot.
The one that does like flips and stuff.
Yeah, with the disc face. That one.
Yeah.
I think the movement is quite insane.
Yeah, but actually the Chinese models are almost there. You can see there. I saw a really nice reel which compared the humanoid robots because China did some showcasing or whatever and had I think 50 humanoid robots dancing, and they did that last year, so 2025 and 2026. And the jump from the level of how they're moving, it was actually crazy. I hope I can find that later, and then I will put it into the description. But it was actually amazing to see. The first video was actually like you imagine how a robot would dance and the typical robot move. And then the second video was actually like the Boston Dynamics. They jumped around, they did a backflip, and it looked really human. It was kind of scary.
Did you guys see that Boston Dynamics got acquired a while ago?
Boston?
Yeah.
By who?
They got acquired by who? Hyundai. Interesting. Obviously, because they're gonna try to implement it in their factories for 1.1 billion, by the way. And they actually got founded in 1992.
But I mean, they only got they did a full acquisition, no?
It looks like it.
For 1 billion?
Like well,
I would have bought it for 1 billion.
That seems cheap, but you just want to say.
Acquired robotics company in 1.1 billion deal.
Okay.
No. I don't know. I didn't really look into that, but interesting to be honest.
Yeah, but one thing that I forgot earlier about OpenAI, they also made a big deal with the TBPM, the podcast show. Did you guys see that?
Our big role models. Or my big role models.
I've actually never watched an episode of them.
No, same.
No, that's I do watch them sometimes, but what's interesting with them is they're not that traditional podcast necessarily.
It's
they're
a
much
live stream,
more,
right?
Yeah, they're live streaming, and then they're cutting their clips into little podcast episodes.
Crazy.
And of course, they feature Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, all the big names quite often. Yes, and as we just said, they got acquired by OpenAI. They did not disclose any specific numbers, but it was just said that they will help OpenAI with marketing and communications, and I think that is definitely a right move. So if any of the bigger companies out there also looking for a podcast to take over, I know for you guys,
not yet. Not yet.
No, of course not.
No.
But I have something I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
I read a research or a article by Gartner, the analytics company, and I think it was really, really interesting. So what they basically said in that, so it was about AI agents, and their main forecast was pretty much that by 2028, more than half of all enterprises will stop paying for assistive AI tools, so copilots, and or smart advisors, however you want to. Yes, and all invest into agentic AI platforms. Just
Makes
again,
sense.
in 2 years, half of all the enterprises will stop paying for assistive AI tools. So all the co-pilots, everything completely scrapped by half of all the enterprises.
But like completely stop?
That is half of them, yes, completely stop. They will all move to agentic platforms. So
does that mean that normal human employees won't have access to any AI anymore, or will they then work with the agents
I'm guessing
Colab?
Of course they will, but they will move to agentic platforms. So, and not to just, those
Is there a definition of agentic?
I would need to look it up again, but how they defined it. But I mean, the general definition of agents, right, is you have a start and a goal, and the agent figures out themselves how to get there, rather than, and can like call tools and so on, rather than just dull copilots that just give you that just pulls up an information or so.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
Some of the key numbers that I wrote out, because it was quite interesting. So in 2025, only 5% of enterprise apps had AI agents. Only 5% last year, and they predict that by the end of this year, it will jump eightfold to 40% already.
Crazy.
40%.
Nah.
From 5 to 40%. And at least 15% of day-to-day work decisions will be made by agentic AI by 2028. 15, sorry.
15, okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
But I think that is in 2 years. In your 2 years, 15% of day-to-day work decisions are made autonomously.
But is that based on America, or is that based on, because worldwide, I think that's a bit, at least from what I see, is a bit far. But if it's only America kind of data, then it would make sense.
Let me check in a second.
Yeah, no stress.
And I will come back to you.
But it's still impressive, the eightfold for me.
Yes,
I mean, from 5% to, I mean, if you just imagine how much more compute that is also an eightfold.
I mean, it's switching around, but of course, agents need quite a bit more than.
Especially with context. When no, the prices won't get better any soon. With RAM,
No, just don't buy RAM, I guess.
No, yeah, but I think it's not even RAM. I mean, you also need to store all of that. So hard drives, I mean, they are also skyrocketed.
Electricity, don't even talk about it.
But it's actually fun. I found a really fun post by TinyGrad. Do you guys know that? I think I already mentioned it, but super fun small company. They're basically focused on AI boxes, I would call them, computers specialized for AI, and they have some smaller powerhouses with, I think one is 4 times RTX 6000 and stuff like that. So actually heavy work with a lot of VRAM to run actual fun LLMs on it. And I saw earlier they are now building a whole container full with compute power that you basically can order, and you can now put yourself into the waitlist for 100K, and the container should cost up to 10 million. Imagine that. And you can just basically deploy it everywhere, and you just need one plug.
Yeah.
It's a mini data center. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. A mini data center, I just wanted to say.
But still, imagine how cool that is. You can almost everywhere plug that. I mean, maybe not with a 10 million budget, but super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you have private kind of processing and stuff. It's an interesting idea.
I think actually that is the future, especially for SMEs or whatnot, to get some kind of off-grid compute so that is actually yours, and that is then basically what makes you unique, or your unique selling point, your agent behind it. I mean, Jensen Huang said it, every company needs a agentic change management now. Change management was my course.
Yeah, but agentic change. Have a look at
whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Fun.
Well, perfectly leads over to. Did you guys hear of Project Conway?
No, actually not.
Any of it? It's Anthropic. They're leaking new stuff again, as every week.
New stuff?
So
they were surprisingly quiet. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Yeah. But I mean, the last episode we talked about how they unfortunately leaked the whole source code of Claude Code. So that's interesting because nowadays there's a lot of clones of it. But now they leaked Project Conway, which is, I wouldn't compare it to OpenClaw, but in a way, it's basically an agentic AI, but it runs 24/7. So it basically just really runs 24/7, listens to different kinds of triggers. So it can be a calendar invite, it can be a message, whatever. It can be anything basically. And then acts on it on your behalf, but without any prompt. So you literally just give it kind of, how would you say, it's like a character, like basically what it is and what it should do overall. Like basically like an employee, you hire them and you tell them, you do this and this, and you do the same way with Conway, and it does literally everything. So perfectly leads over to what Tim said as well. So even the bigger players obviously are looking into the agentic kind of way of working, and Conway I think is one of the ways that Anthropic wants to look into it after computer use and everything else that they're just testing around. So thought it was interesting, didn't hear of it a lot yet, but it should be a direct replacement of Zapier, Make, N8N, etc. That's at least what they
basically about. Anthropic kills 10 startups again. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And even scale-ups, not even startups.
Yeah.
Actually,
they're going a step up now.
Zapier
Fun that
is
you mentioned OpenClaw. I found Hermes agent last week. And also, what was, I don't know, a lot of YouTuber or influencer said like the OpenClaw killer and whatnot. But I, of course, installed it, and it's actually fun. It's, I don't know, for me it's almost the same, but the Hermes
What is the difference to OpenClaw?
Nothing, basically. They have a better system. Structure. So the same idea behind it. The architecture is, I believe, a bit different. So also the TUI looks a bit different, and the CLI works a bit differently, but super nice. And the fun part is I now run it with a local LLM, so everything private, and it's super fast. I run the how's it called again, the Quopus 3.5, the Quen model that got distilled by Opus. And it's super awesome. It's actually good. No, sorry, little sidetrack.
I think we only have to go to Stack and Skip, right? Sorry.
Yeah, but one last question. How's the quality? Because you said it's super fast, but how's the actual quality?
Good question.
It's good. Now I just tested it on the big code base, Digilize Core, and there it seemed a bit overwhelmed. But I think there was more my context settings. So I'm also new to all of the Rockham Llama server and whatnot. So I got to play around with that a bit more, and I believe I can get the context window a bit up and more optimized. So I hope it will get there, but we will see.
Well, then keep us up to date. Let us know next week how the quality is.
Put that perfectly. Let's put that into Stack and Skip, I guess. Sibi, what you say? Is it a stack or a skip right now?
Yeah, for sure stack.
just play around with it, I guess.
Yeah,
no, same for Conway. As soon as it gets released, I don't know yet.
Yeah, but I think then you for sure need a Claude Code subscription again, or a Claude Pro subscription.
For sure.
If they even release it for the normal Pro subscription and not the Max, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like there are nowadays so many different tier subscription names, from Pro Max to Pro 20X and whatnot. It is super confusing. We need to norm some shit there. I'm like that.
Yeah.
For real. But also one little tool or little hack that I came across this week, which I think I didn't try it out yet, but it sounded quite interesting. It's the caveman cloud cost hack. I don't know. Did you guys hear about it?
No.
Yes. Well, Sebi already knows what's coming, but
it's pretty much super smart. Super smart.
Yes. A guy on Reddit basically forced Claude to reply in broken caveman-style language instead of full sentences.
To save on tokens.
Save on tokens. And here are the numbers. And here are the numbers, yeah? A normal web search task, roughly 180 tokens. The caveman version cut that down to 45. So from 180, it cut it down to 45 and still same quality output, which basically saves you roughly 50 to 75% on tokens.
Of course, yeah.
And that also applies to sub-agents and so on, also in the thinking process itself. So it's not only... Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that it's obviously it saves, but it always has to keep up the quality. I also saw the Posttalk CEO that he, obviously it was a pun, but he also posted that he saves 99% token usage because he prompts, like his system prompt is just answer with yes, no, or maybe. And, obviously that's going to cost quality, but I think if there's actually a way that AIs, and there's going to be one, that they can communicate in a way directly without humans having to understand the conversation. So let's say sub-agents talking to the orchestrator, and only the orchestrator actually outputs like language like that we humans can read, and the rest just communicates in like a really efficient kind of, I don't know how it's gonna look, but can be whatever.
But then it gets scary again.
It does. But it would be efficient.
If the sub-agents and the orchestrator agent can communicate in a different language than humans can understand,
it does get creepy, but in a way that's the most efficient way, no? Like, but it is creepy because the sub-agent could tell the orchestrator, don't mention this one to the human.
When do we think that happens? When do you think that moment comes?
I mean, that already started with Moltbook.
In a way,
the social media, they started to brainstorm that they need a different language, so they tried it.
A lot of those bots were humans.
Yeah, for sure, because of the API endpoint, but was also vibe coded. But the actual conversations that you could look at in there, which the agents, the open clause, whatever, uploaded, so they could also upload their own conversations or whatever, basically like
I get it.
Thank you.
Get it.
And then basically one of the top trending ones was that they need to have or that they want more privacy, and that they need to find a protocol, because for us it is a language, but for computers it's basically just a protocol that you need to do that humans cannot understand. So I guess it's not that hard, but I think the agents are not that loose in the internet yet that they created it. But if it's not here yet, then it's going to be here very soon.
Just wanted to say. I'd give it a 2030 the latest.
Nah.
Probably way further.
1 year.
I just want to, just don't want to be
1 year max.
I personally think we already have it. It's maybe not in our front-facing we can use.
Some tests,
I think I'm pretty sure if the system prompt is loosened up a little bit, I think
we're not the first ones having that idea.
No, probably not. So, Claude goes caveman or AI goes caveman, stack or skip. What do you think? We haven't tried it yet, but
Yeah, but the fun part is someone created a skill out of it. So you can basically install it within Shadcn command, and then you can use it. So really easy to use, and I already installed it in the project, but haven't tried it out yet. But
all right, then I would say that it qualifies as a temporary stack until next episode, and then we will keep you up to date on how the actual performance is. Another thing that I came across, which I think is kind of the same category, it's very gimmicky and more like a meme thing, but it's the digital whip for Claude. Do you guys see that?
No. That sounds interesting.
A guy basically...
I feel like I missed a lot over the weekend.
Yes, you definitely did. A guy just vibe coded a like little app kind of that plugs into your IDE or in Cloud Code, right? And it's basically just a 3D whip. And you can toggle it with your mouse, and then it whips and it interrupts Claude
I
injects a prompt always and be like, work faster. So each time you whip, it injects a prompt into the work and says, work faster. It's very much a gimmick, but I thought it was quite hilarious. I don't see a real use case for that.
Testing if it's actually improving something, or?
No, it's just a gimmick. It's
actually just for the fun. For a funsie.
Yes.
There's nothing to actually use. But I mean, you could use it if you have a reusable prompt that you use more than once or twice in a session. Then you could make it actually useful. But no.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah.
No, I just got two more small. I'll make it quick actually, but it's really interesting, so I have to include it. It's both about the energy usage in AI and how it's gonna be solved or whatever. Two actually really interesting things. One of them quite new, so I'm interested if Sibi heard about it already. I keep the second one for the last. But Soma Energy, first of all, small company. They only raised 7 million, but it's interesting. Their intent is, it's former AWS engineers, and they started the company to solve the kind of AI energy crisis, or at least to kind of reduce the time needed for data centers to get plugged into the grid. Which is interesting because in America it takes years at the moment to actually get power, and if you build a data center, sometimes it just stays still for 4 years, and then you get power, and then you need to redo the whole hardware in it. So what they do is they are building an AI platform and in models to predict, kind of where AI energy demand, whatever is needed when, and then they're rerouting the energy demands to the data centers. And in that sense, they're kind of optimizing how the energy actually gets distributed so that none of the energy is actually being lost, but is being rerouted. If, for example, that data center in that second needs a bit less to the next one. And in that way, they want to improve it by a significant amount of time, like by years, to get data centers to be plugged into the grid quicker. But the one that Sebe was actually looking into, probably, I suppose, is even more interesting because it's really impactful, and I didn't read about it anywhere. It's a company, it's not a company, it's actually researchers at a university, and they built a chip which is based on neurons. So basically they're trying to recreate how the brain works, because the brain is obviously at least at the moment, the most efficient way how data gets transferred. It's actually really interesting, to be honest. And they are building a chip which actually works currently. Like, it's not a theory, it's actually like a physical product, or at least a kind of test.
A prototype.
Research, POC.
Exactly. And it's 2,000 times more energy efficient than the current chips, which is hella interesting, because obviously neurons are way more efficient, but if you can actually implement that into a chip, what does the whole energy market, the whole stock market boom, etc. That's all gonna. It's like the DeepSeek moments in what was it, 2023 or something.
I think we're not that far yet, but it's super interesting research.
The idea is crazy.
I think there are a lot of scaling problems with that though, but
100%.
Let's see where the research will go. But it's actually super interesting because, like you said, and the other part also, I mean, we try to recreate the how the brain works for LLMs. So they are basically exactly trained to work on chips, I would say, like our brain. So really interesting. Let's see where that research will go to, and especially how that research will evolve with AI in the basic use.
Mm-hmm.
We'll follow up in the coming podcast as soon as we hear anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually fun.
On that note, I think we're at the end of this episode. Or do you guys have anything else?
Oh, it wraps it up quite well.
No. Wait. One actually really nice thing. Google's the algorithm to make the TurboQuant, thank you.
We talked
the
about
KV cache smaller and the whole context window. The Google engineers that are worked on that one and posted on Twitter that they're working on basically trying to do the same algorithm for the LLM. So basically for the GGUF file.
That would be a game changer.
They already did a proof of concept where I think it was some model that they really quantized way less than the actual model it was with the algorithm.
Crazy.
So let's see where that leads to, and local AI will have, I hope, even more the new star here.
That would be a big game changer.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my last note.
No, very, very interesting. On that note, we have another thing to introduce and to let you guys know. We are having a AI hackathon here in Haarlem in collaboration with the Social Club, SRH Haarlem, also Lovable, one of our biggest partners, and we want to encourage you to check it out. Go to hackathon.digilize.agency and give it a read, see if it interests you. And also the link is right in the show notes, as Sebi correctly indicated. And on that note, this is pretty much it. And see you next time. And sure to like the episode and like our show. Leave a follow and peace.